For the Truck Series, we're here today at Talladega, and I'm joined up here in the booth by Big Jim and Electric Days. I'm your host, Captain Dead Dad, and we're joined here by regular season champion Ghost Killer. I mean, 15 playoff points in the bag just off of getting that regular season championship. You're sitting nice and high and mighty for the first round of playoffs. How you feeling?
Well, it's definitely good to have that insurance in case I have a bad race at Canadian Tire or I believe it's Chicagoland. So it's nice just having that little extra comfort because I'm not the best on road courses. I'll admit it. So it's just nice to have that in the bank.
Definitely nice to have a bit of a cushion, especially when you've got tracks that you're not exactly the greatest at coming up in round one. I mean, and who are you really worried about for the first round of the playoffs, or just the playoffs in general? I mean,
well, if we're talking just first round, I think AK could probably win both races. I mean, he's pretty damn good. I'd say he's the best truck regular. I think him and Mayhem are two best truck regulars in road courses, so I think it's going to be cool to see what they can do. And I'm just going to try to hang on to a top 5, get some stage points. And then Chicago, it's really a toss-up. There's like 7-8 guys that could very easily win that. So
definitely, I mean, Chicagoland is a bit of a mixed bag. Last season, I believe it was you that came out on top, wasn't it?
No, this is my rookie season, sir.
That's your rookie season? Who's the other person in the 98?
It was Shake and Bake.
Yeah, that's right. Shake and Bake came out on top, I believe. He's the one that ended up winning the championship last season.
That's H-Wix.
H-Wix. You know, one day we'll get this right up here. But anyway, yeah. I mean, Chicagoland can be a little bit of a crapshoot. We saw a lot of front runners that dropped back early and a lot of people that ran in the back come up front. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what exactly goes down there. And congratulations on getting regular season championship again.
Thank you.
Yep, and we're going to move down to currently 10th place in points, just barely on the cutoff line for Hennessy Trucks. Kush Knight. Jim, I'll let you take over this one.
Yeah, Kush, got a copy?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Hey, man, well, I mean, you're in a pretty good position. You're above the cut line, and you're really looking to take care of business here at Talladega, but it's kind of a wild card. What's the plan for this one tonight?
You just got to try to stay clean for this race. It don't really matter where you're at. You can go from 20th all the way up to 10th here in a blink of an eye with how the draft works at this track. You just got to keep clean and watch out for other people wrecking you.
Yeah, definitely. The Truck Series has had quite a lot of contact, but you've handled it pretty well. You've been very classy about it, and hopefully that pays off for you tonight. Hopefully a little karma in your favor.
That's all we can hope for, man.
Definitely. Hopefully you can have a little bit of good luck. You are only 4 points above the cut line, just above AHAC, so we're going to be watching you very closely up here in the booth. But again,
we hope to put on a good show for you guys.
You repeat that?
So we hope to put on a good show for you guys tonight.
I hope
around each other.
I hope you guys do. Hopefully it's a lot better than how Daytona turned out. That was interesting to say the least. But yeah, again, good luck. Hopefully you get out there and win it. Or not win it, but get in the playoffs for KBM.
I appreciate it, y'all. I'll try to definitely do it, that's for sure.
Alright, man. See you after the race. Anyway, to give people watching a bit of a clue onto the playoff situation down by 10th place right now, it's currently Skeptic, who is 15 above the cut line in 9th place. Kush, who's up 4, AHAC, who's down 4, and Solis, who is probably not even going to make it tonight, who is down 15. And I mean, really, it's anybody's game for that last playoff spot. Electric, who are you really thinking for today? For that last playoff spot, rather.
For the last playoff spot, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. For the last playoff spot, I think so. It's hard to get into these playoffs, especially here at Talladega, where they're ending up at. It's hard to make up positions, but to make it into the playoffs, I say that AHAC or Solis makes it, and Kush, one of them, or Kush stays in. But,
Fair enough, man. Definitely a little bit of SHR favoritism towards your two lower series teammates. Jim, I mean, playoff situation's interesting. Everybody above 8th place is pretty much locked in. And the only two that aren't are Skeptic and Kush. I mean, worst case scenario, who are you thinking will, worst case scenario again, who do you think will knock out Kush?
Well, first of all, I have to ask, how many starts do you have to make to at least put yourself in eligibility for a playoff spot?
You need to make half, so anybody that I believe has 5 right now should be good.
Okay.
Assuming they make this race. You need to
So,
make half the
assuming
regular season.
Yeah, assuming he makes the race, I'm going to go with a guy that nobody other than himself and his teammates want to see make it. I say GU. I say GU gets a win tonight. He would not be able to point his way in. It would definitely have to be a win. But when it's crunch time, you can expect GU to be up there.
Definitely GU. Just barely outside of the points. I believe he is more than 60 down, and the only way he'd be mathematically eligible to make it into the playoffs is if Kush did not run tonight. But as we just heard, Kush is definitely going to run. He's definitely going to try and get in for KBM. So, I mean, yeah, it definitely sucked to see someone get knocked out of the playoffs by someone that hasn't made a whole lot of races, but at the same time, it's just how racing is. We had this same situation last season, I believe with the same person as well, so it'll be interesting to see how GU can do at Talladega.
No doubt, but there's a lot of good names there that are underneath the cut line. Ty Racing, Mr. Huff, we saw him a lot at Eldora, and we've seen him a lot throughout the season. Overbeak, QSA, all of these guys are going to have a shot tonight, it being a wild card.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of these people that are below 10th place, those have all been people who we've constantly talked about in these broadcasts, always up there running in the front, but it's just never during the right time. And kind of comes to bite you in the ass just a little bit, but I mean, hopefully one of them can get the win here today. Try and get into the playoffs for their team.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that we have had so many, we haven't had many different winners. It's been mostly Ghost Killer winning, and we've had a couple of guys other than Ghost Killer win, but for the most part, it's either been call downs or Ghost Killers. So, again, I'm going to keep harping on it. A wild card racetrack, it's going to be hard for, a favorite to really emerge.
Definitely. I mean, you've got really anybody can win this race. I mean, last season, coming into this race, we saw Arbales, the driver of the 18 truck and the owner of JGR as a whole, almost came around and won the thing, but ran out of fuel on the backstretch just on that last lap. So, I mean, if he wins today, he can be in the playoffs. It'll definitely be interesting to see really how it plays out. But yeah, you are correct about there only really being not a whole lot of different winners. I mean, again, Ghost having only 3 and the rest have just been call downs. There's only 3 other unique
Skeptic,
winners.
Whitey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Skeptic has won, AK has won, and NBD has won. So there's only been 4 unique winners, and there's a pretty high chance we can see another one today. So.
Yeah, and those wins were huge for those guys like MBD and Skeptic, because Skeptic was not looking good heading into the playoffs. I mean, he wasn't even looking like he was going to make the playoffs before that win at Charlotte. Gutsy call from him, got himself a win and locked that spot in. Not what Kush wanted to see, and not what a lot of those other guys, AHAC and all of them, wanted to see. But truly, I mean, just a masterful call from Skeptic, and really did pay off for him.
Definitely, I mean, he made a pretty huge call. And, yeah, he made a pretty huge call on staying out. And a lot of people were upset with the move, but a win's a win. And if you can get it, you can get it. And that's all that really matters. Doesn't matter how you do it. It just matters that you got it.
So I guess we can kind of go back and try to sift through what happened at Daytona, the other super speedway we had this season. It was Tiger NASCAR winning the race, and Kluka got second, but Kluka will not be racing tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything we can really take away from Daytona?
Thankfully, Tiger's not in the truck series anymore. He was moved up to Xfinity, but I don't know what we can really take away. I mean, the one guy that finished just behind Tiger, no longer part of the league, so it's really just anybody's game. I mean, we're going to have the few obvious front runners, you know, Ghost, maybe Skeptic, AK, a couple other names, but really towards the end of the race, it can just come to be a little bit of a crapshoot, and it's just right place, right time. One little move, and all of a sudden you've dropped 5, 6, 7 positions.
Yeah.
I get the feeling we're going to see probably a bit of either. I think we're just going to see an upset or a shock winner here today in Talladega.
Yeah, Electric, going back to that question, is there anything you can really compare? I mean, they're both super speedways, but they're kind of different styles of super speedways, Daytona and Talladega. Can you kind of go a bit over that?
Yeah, I mean, when you go to Daytona, it's so narrow. You can barely go 3 wide there. You can probably make 3 wide work, but it's not going to be that much space to make it work in. But when you go to somewhere like Dega, you can almost go 4 wide through the front stretch, I'm for sure. But you have so much space at that track that you can make any move that you want. But just make sure that you are careful, because it is a super speedway. One wrong move can pull out the big one. I'm not expecting that many cautions today, but just because of the people that would stay in a line and to make sure they get their points instead of just trying to try out the third lane or the second lane. Just try to get your points and be okay from there.
Definitely. I think you're completely right on that. I mean, the whole thing about Talladega is you can really make a lot of moves and make a lot of lines work. We might only see 2 primarily, the outside and the inside, but when it does come push to shove at the end of the race, I mean, 4 wide is very viable.
Yes.
About 6 minutes away from race time, by the way.
Yeah, about 6 minutes away. Qualifying, I believe, starting here in a moment. So maybe we'll get a little sneak peek at that once it's finished. And there were a couple of people saying that Solis apparently is not going to make it. So far, there's not been a confirmation from the man himself. But if he doesn't make it, that's definitely going to be. It's going to be pretty hard for him. I mean, it sucks to not get into the playoffs, and to miss it on the last race after an entire season definitely it bites a little bit. But that does open the door for someone like Ty Racing in the 3, who is pretty far behind Kush right now, but very theoretically he could easily make it in. He's just got to do pretty good in the stages and have a nice finish.
Yeah, we spend so much time talking about, the playoff guys that really we don't speak at all about the non-playoff guys. The playoffs for non-playoff guys is just, it's kind of detrimental. It hurts you a little bit mentally. It's like, I should be here. I'm not here. Why am I even racing? But, I mean, that's why it's so big for these guys to get into the playoffs. It's a lot of it motivates them to put together good finishes for their teams. That will be something that comes down and really plays into the SHR versus HMS battle, I think, is that it depends on who's going to have more drivers in the playoffs. And if guys like GU don't make it, it might affect HMS negatively for those team points.
Yeah, I mean, it might hurt them just a little bit. Currently, they only have 2 cars in there, Shake and Bake and TGS, but, you know, someone like GU wins here today. That's 3 cars for HMS in the playoffs and only 2 for SHR. And that leaves a lot of, or I think, only 1 for JGR, I think 2 for Penske. I could be wrong, though. And then, or not 2, probably 1 for Penske, 2 for Roush Fenway, and then I think 1 for CGR would round up that math, I think. I don't know, though.
That's a team that barely gets talked about here on the Hennessy Performance Racing League channel is Roush, but they really have found something in their trucks over the last couple weeks, and definitely just across the board every series. But I mean, Allen in Cup, he's doing very well. Skeptic getting that win just last week. It's looking pretty good for Roush. They're definitely trending upwards.
Definitely, I mean, Roush has been doing pretty decently. They've got a pretty solid truck series, pretty much an anchor for the truck series in Dalator, currently sitting second in points, 89 points behind Ghost Killer. So nowhere near the best, but definitely way up there and above everyone else as he sits about 60 points ahead of, or not 60. They cut out Mayhem, who sits in third, and I don't know how many points he has over Mayhem, so you can blame that one on Dalator.
I completely forgot about Dalator. He's been having a really good run this season, road courses especially, but he's starting to find something at those 1.5 milers, those short tracks, and with Chicago and a road course coming up, should bode well for him. He's got to be starting to look at that more than Talladega, in my opinion.
Definitely, I mean, I'm sure he's looking forward to Canadian Tire. Probably not so much Chicagoland after what had happened last season, but I mean, Canadian Tire, I'd look for him to be one of the front runners. I mean, currently he's got no wins, only 3 top 5s, no stage wins, 1 pole to his name out of 11 starts, but I mean, if he gets that win at Canadian Tire, it automatically locks him in, and that'll be huge for him because I believe, I could be wrong, he'd be in the bottom half of the playoff situation. I could be wrong, though. I'm not very good at calculating this stuff on hand.
Horrible at math. Same here.
No, I'm not horrible at math, unlike some people, Jim.
Okay, well, throw me under the bus then.
Yeah, that's what I'm good at. But yeah, no, but yeah, no, I'm not too good at a playoff situation. I mean, it would have helped going in if we had something, but it's whatever.
Yeah, the points do confuse me, but that might be because my brain doesn't work.
I think a lot of numbers confuse you, Jim, and I think the only one that doesn't is that you just run the 11. That's all you need to know.
The 11, yep, that's the one number I know.
Alright, hopefully we can get in here shortly. I'm not sure if the race has started exactly yet, but I don't even think any of us have gotten invites. I don't even know if we have a stream.
Oh, don't do this to me. Yes, MBD has a stream up.
Look
Thank
at that.
you, MBD. They're on lap 404 in qualifying, coming to the line in about 10 seconds.
Alright, I should be able to get in very shortly then. And as far as I know, Solis has still not confirmed his race, or his attendance tonight. That's what I'm looking for. So, again, if he makes it in, cool. If he doesn't, it's definitely going to hurt. Ugh.
Yeah, so at least not making it, like I said, it's not going to just hurt him. It's going to hurt his motivation for showing up for races in the future and putting on for his team in the future. These next, 5, 6, 7 races before the end of the season. I mean,
5 races.
really, what's your motivation after you haven't made the playoffs? Like, what keeps you keep going? Just try to keep that contract, maybe?
I mean, we had a bit of an issue with this last season as well. I mean, once the playoffs have started, if you weren't in the playoffs, I mean, there was very little incentive to race. And the Bond team did try and do a little bit of work trying to get more people to show up during the playoffs, as that'll definitely help a little bit for, obviously, attendance, but make the racing better as a whole, because you've got all these people trying to go for win instead of, oh, hey, here goes Ghost Killer, AK, and Mayhem every single race constantly. You've got outsiders like GU who show up and actually put up a little bit of a fight towards those top people.
Definitely, and we do have our running order. Electric, do you have the stream up?
No, I do not, but I'm going to do it right now.
Okay, well, I can tell everybody right now, one of our call downs from the Cup Series, the owner of Roush Fenway Racing here in Hennessy, is your pole sitter. It is Fluffy.
Yep, and I forgot to mention the hot seats for tonight, as thank you, Ghost Killer, for getting us invites. Glad you didn't forget us. But our hot seats for tonight's going to be, like you just said, the owner of Roush Fenway himself, Fluffy Sachs, the driver of the 78 and former owner of Penske, Masopes, and G. Stacy, the driver of the 1 in Xfinity. So, I mean,
those are some big names right there.
They definitely are. I mean, Fluffy Sachs, one of the playoff people for the Truck Series last season. We could definitely see him get a win here today, or we could see him push someone like Skeptic or Dallentor, maybe someone that's on his team but outside the playoffs right now, to the win here today. I mean, we could even see him push QSA Skywalker, who needs the maximum points and needs to hope that Cush only gets the bare minimum. So, realistically, QSA is not in, but mathematically, QSA is in. Or not in, but could be.
Has a chance.
But QSA definitely just needs a win. He shouldn't be focused on any numbers or nothing. Just win. That's all you need.
Also, a big shout out here to one of the guys that was in the free agency race, put on very well from Martinsville. Really impressed Sharp, Penske owner. Now he's driving the 32 truck tonight. That would be the one and only 77. So big shout out to him on making his Truck Series debut.
Definitely, I mean, he was a pretty good free agent driver. He showed up. He was most of the time one of the front runners. He's only got 1 win to his name in the free agent series, but out of 3 starts, that's pretty good. So definitely be interesting to follow his career throughout the playoffs, and then over next season when things are gonna get a bit weird, according to the admins. So
yeah, I think this guy has a lot of talent. I think that, I saw him at Martinsville and he was leading a good part of it. And I don't even know what he did in the other 2 free agency races, but I think he does have a very bright career ahead of him for as long as he stays in Hennessy.
yeah, I mean, that was really our main issue before we brought back those free agent races. A lot of the time we'd get this fresh new talent, and if they weren't immediately signed, gone within the week, and it really started to hurt us. So it seems like now, ever since those free agent races got started back up, we've started seeing them stay for a lot longer and actually get involved and interested in the league and actually want to get out there and race. And with the one and only getting signed, I'm sure that gives a lot of them hope, as he obviously was a free agent just 2 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a good story for anybody that wants to get into Hennessy, just to know that there are team guys looking out for you and might just pick you up if you impress. So we could join.
Definitely. All right. Let's get in here, see who is leading, presumably Fluffy Sacks, but never really know.
Oh crap. I still have my controller hooked up to my wheels, so I'll have to flip through on the wheel.
All right.
That's
But
great
yes,
time.
again, Fluffy Sacks currently on pole, TGS and Dalator just behind him with Jason Cole rounding out the first 2 rows. So congrats to Fluffy Sacks. That'll be 1 playoff point, or not playoff point, 1 bonus point. One of these days
doesn't
I'll
mean
get through
much
a
to
race
him.
without. Yeah, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but he's got it, and I guess that's all that really matters.
It is time to see who's going to make it into the playoffs.
Yep. We're gonna try and keep you guys updated and see, or give you updated playoff standings throughout the race for 9th through 12th, but bear with us as this has to all be done live. Anyway, they're getting really shaky, just now coming out of 2, getting onto the backstretch. Always happens. It's never not going to happen, but they seem to have straightened themselves up a little bit. And you've got three Roush Fenway cars. 3? Yes, 3. 3 Roush Fenway cars currently sitting 1, 2, and 3 right now, with looks like R Bales and then AK and Leaded just behind him, rounding out your top 5.
And you can already see Electric that basically the entire field, single file, all of them just trying to file in down at the very bottom of the racetrack.
Yes. Yeah, as I said, I'm not expecting too many people to try to make moves, as we see Ghost and 3 others up on the high lane. It's not going to look okay right now for that high lane right now.
Definitely. I mean, early on, I think it'd be a little bit better as we see the 4 and 23. 4 currently just sitting barely outside the playoffs, getting to a little bit of a wreck.
Big points implications. Cush Knight was involved in that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt him a good bit. There is no caution in GU as well. That's going to hurt him slightly. Not as much, though, as he sits way below in points. But, yeah, assuming there's no caution, that leaves Cush way out.
Oh, my goodness, it's getting crazy up here. But now you're AHAC back here. You're just outside of points range. You got to really kind of push it here because this is a chance to make up that gap on that 4 that just wrecked.
Definitely, and again, I mean, AHAC, he drives the 13, doesn't he?
That's AHAC, yep.
Where is he currently sitting? Just on 10th?
I think he's behind 10th. I think he's probably more
just
like 13th or 14th.
So yeah, no, I mean, if AHAC can't find himself up into the top 10, he's not going to get anything. He really needs to capitalize with Cush's incident and try and grab a couple of stage points to narrow that gap. But yeah.
Overbeak another one right up here in the 34 to make up some points. I think he's still able to make up points, right?
I believe he is. Give me 1 minute. I'll take a look. Overbeak currently sits 226 to 263, so 30 some odd points behind.
He'd have to have a banner stage.
Yeah, Overbeak would have to win both stages for there to really be much of a shot. But he'd have to get a win here today. Yeah. But so far there hasn't really been a whole lot of movement up front. Fluffy Snacks continues to lead with Dalator pushing just behind him. Jason Cole, I believe, is in the playoffs, currently sits 4th. 336 points in total, about 70 points over 10th. So 4 out of these top 5 cars you see currently sitting nice and easy and pretty much locked into the playoffs, assuming nothing disastrous happens for them.
Electric, did you perhaps get how many laps there are in this stage 1?
Yeah, let's go around one more time. I'm looking at a stream right now.
Yep.
Alright, but yeah. Definitely. I mean, if AHAC can manage to snag a couple stage points here, that'll be huge in his bit of a battle. If he can find himself even with how much points Kush has, that'll be huge for him. I mean, he'd only need to finish one above Kush.
Right now, he's not in the best position, though. Everyone just on the bottom. Now you see 2 trucks trying that outside. It's the 24 and the 3 trying that outside, but he's not really even close to stage point territory right now, as it looks like there's 4 laps to go in this stage.
Gosh, 4.
Yeah, it actually looks like, sadly, he dropped back just a little bit. But it's definitely going to come back and bite him just slightly. Hopefully he can find himself in a little bit of a better position coming up into stage 2 here in 3 laps.
Yeah, I mean, it's not detrimental. He's still only 4 underneath the cut line right now. He still has 2 more stages to go in this race, but it would have been nice if he could have taken advantage of it. It's not going to be the end of his day, though.
Yeah, I mean, you want to try and build yourself a little bit of a barrier. If you're only 4 below the cut line, you want to try and build up a little bit of a barrier, get some stage points, maybe even it out, maybe give yourself a couple of points you can play with. But it's not gonna... Your playoff hopes aren't just gonna die the second you don't get any stage points. You've still got plenty of room to play with. You still sit only down 4. You only need to finish 5 spots ahead of the guy. So...
Yeah. And you see right now, Electric, that outside that you said wasn't there, it is now here, now that we're getting close to the end of the stage.
Yeah, I mean, like, you gotta let these stages go past for that high line to work, or actually people wanting to trust it, because other people with them is going up there to try to test it. And as long as they stay up there and keep the momentum and make sure they stay with these cars, you'll be able to get a great run off of turn 2 and turn 4 and hopefully get up there and pass.
And this is 2 to go. Next time by will be white flag for stage 1. That outside definitely formed up.
10. So currently AHAC sits, I believe, in just barely in 11th. He's side by side with what looks to be tie racing in the 3. So again, if AHAC can get a stage point here at least, that'll definitely be a huge step towards finding that 10th playoff spot.
Yeah, he missed out on a golden opportunity right there. He could have went down to the bottom and filled that space in, as they are almost 4 wide for 5th place back there.
Jeez, definitely. And someone who we've just kind of glossed over, sitting not currently in 9th, but in the playoffs in 9th, Skeptic Whitey. He also has dropped back pretty hard, shockingly. I mean, he's sitting way out of the points right now. I mean, if AHAC can manage to grab some stage points here...
Wait a second.
That's
AHAC right there on the bottom.
AHAC currently, I think he's moved himself up to about 8th. Is this the white flag lap?
Yeah, this is the last. This is coming to the end of the stage.
Yeah. It looks like Fluffy's going to pull over, let Dalator and Jason Cole by him. Your stage winner is going to be Dalator, followed closely by Jason Cole, Fluffy Sacks, R-Bales, and then AK and Let It to round out the top 5. I think AHAC found himself just barely with some stage points there. I think just enough to either be 1 or even with Kush Knight, and...
Yeah, he finished 6th in stage 1, and that's going to mean he is 1 point above Kush on the cut line. So it's, I mean, any little buffer that Kush had, it went away right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got to be careful. You've really got to make the correct decisions when coming in to Talladega. You need to really pay attention. I'm going to try and somewhat keep this updated on my notepad, so at least didn't show up, sadly. So
somebody didn't.
Yes, it
40.
does look like the 40 truck of, I believe that is SS Assassin. Stayed out.
Yeah.
Someone who has been doing okay. I mean, he's a pretty relatively new signing. And we've said his name a couple of times up here, but there's definitely a bit of a bright future for him.
You gotta give it a minute. I mean, with these new drivers coming into their new positions and them coming right into trucks, they have that potential to look like they can finish in the top 5, in the top 3, and hopefully win some races while they're in trucks. Then you will see, well, whether you want to move them up or keep them there in trucks.
Definitely. I mean, sometimes a lot of people are only in a series due to time constraints. I mean, you've got people such as AK Unleaded, some who consider to be cup-level talent, constrained to run in the truck series because just simply time. I mean, it's got him, he's currently running like one time a week at 9 or like 9:30, 10 o'clock his time most times. And
Right.
he goes on till about 11 o'clock, so it'll definitely really be interesting to follow Assassin up and through the playoffs and through next season as he drops back to 6 and loses a little bit of space due to getting put up into the wall by someone. I'm trying to do a little bit of math here, try and keep Skeptic, or trying to update Skeptic, so Gem and Electric, I'll let you two control it for now.
A little update on our... Oh, man, they're about to wreck back here. 33.
The 2 in the wall, the 44 all the way, the 40 with a nasty hit to the outside wall, and that will be a caution.
Yep,
Yeah.
That'll be first caution for Cause, and I was just about to mention it, that Kushnite, after starting near the very back of, the queue there, starting stage 2, made his way past the 13 and might be up in 10th place right now, and that right there would tie us once again between the 4 and the 13.
Yep, and updated standings for currently that 10th playoff spot is currently Skeptic sits in 9th, now only 10 above the cut line due to not getting any stage points, and AHAC having a pretty decent run towards the end of stage 1.
Skeptic is locked in.
No, he is.
Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, you're right. So anyway, forget about Skeptic. Skeptic doesn't matter. Kush currently sits
Skeptic's doing
-1.
his own thing.
Kush, yeah, really the only battle we're gonna have is Kush and AHAC. I forgot Skeptic
but it's
won
a good one
last
though.
week. Oh, definitely, it's definitely an interesting battle. As it looks like Kush sits in 11th place, with AHAC sitting nowhere near him, way back there towards the back in like 20th.
Yeah, they
So,
both
Bottom.
wrecked.
it's definitely huge for him. As the 38's just constantly getting put into the wall right now.
They all stay really great. The high lane is now working again until people drop down.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt the high lane just a little bit. As your current leader right now, I do not know who that is, but I believe it is G Steezy, hot seating in the 24. AK Unleaded just behind him. The 00 of NBD currently locked into the playoffs with his 1 win, and really locked in through points as well, as he sits 50 above, I think. As there's a bit of an incident back there. I saw the 87 drop back for some reason.
They are 3 and 4 wide at the back here, but this is 3 laps to go in stage 2, and the 4 is running, I believe, 7th right now, and that's going to put him back above AHAC.
Definitely. I mean, following this little storyline here, as it looks like AHAC is still struggling to find himself back up. I believe currently sitting 2 or 3 positions, or not 2 or 3, 5 positions back from Kush. So probably about 12th or 13th right now. So
There is a lot of opportunity, though, for AHAC. Once these guys start going crazy here to start making moves, I'm imagining it's going to help AHAC maybe get some stage points.
I imagine as we have a few that decide to come down and pit, it looks like I'll try and flip through and catch that real quick and hopefully not miss it. Maybe. I don't know. Doesn't look like anyone pit. Is
No, it
Dalator,
was,
Skeptic,
Dalator.
and Jason Cole. A lot of this, or not SHR, Roush Fenway guys. A lot of them. I mean, all of them are in the playoffs right now, so they can feel free to pretty much experiment, and honestly, it might pay off. Wouldn't be too surprised, honestly. But anyway, currently, Kush Knight's sitting in 6th place with AHAC finally finding himself what looks to be on the outside in 10th. But again, being on that outside just by yourself as as Ty Racing gets shoved up into the wall. Someone to come off the yellow.
And look at who that strands out there on the outside. It's AHAC, as that is the white flag lap for stage 2. AHAC is going to have to get back to the bottom and hope that he can slide in behind the 4, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely rough, but it looks like the 33 is trying to make a little bit of a move on the 4, but you cannot pass below that yellow line. It's a penalty if you do. Yeah,
16 right now.
The 16 of AK actually looking to put up a little bit of a fight, try and get the stage win here. It seems, anyway.
You will get it, it looks like.
Yep, it looks like AK is just barely gonna pull ahead as they come side by side to the line.
Wow!
Okay.
Right.
So,
And the
that's
8
huge.
wins.
No, the 8 did not win. The 8 pit.
Okay.
That is going to be, I believe, AK unleaded 1, G Steezy just behind him. Arbale's Kush Knight found himself in 4th.
Wow.
Whoever the 33 is, and I believe the 13 finished 2 or 3 spots behind Kush there. So
AHAC finished 8th.
8th, yeah.
So guess what?
That's definitely going to sting.
3 points above as we come into the final stage, and ultimately the one that decides who's going to be getting this last playoff spot. It could still be one of these guys, not the 13 or the 4. It could be a race winner. We really don't know, and it's going to be fun to find out.
I'm glad you did the math, because I was struggling for a moment. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, man, I don't know what he's in, but I just know he's above. Anyway, coming back to the start for stage 3. G Steezy currently in first, Dalator on your outside with 87 and 38, filling out the inside and the outside. So it looks like that strategy from the Roush Fenway boys actually seemed to work out pretty decently. They found themselves back up front. So maybe we could see a win out of them, which wouldn't really mean anything in terms of playoffs, and I'm sure someone like Kush is perfectly fine with that.
Nah, a win means something in terms of momentum. And they're wrecking.
So we see, a small wreck from the 23 and the 44 coming way up across the track. It looks like there is a caution. And AHAC, I do not see him. Unless he's magically found himself way up front, which he hasn't.
No, he got bumped out of the way in turn 1. I saw that.
Yeah, he got.
I think it really cost him a lot of traffic. He might have been involved in that wreck because he's really far away.
Yeah, no, he's pretty much gone. Sitting back there with the 44 and the 32. Currently, it looks like 4 positions above last right now. So that definitely bites a little bit.
How do you respond to adversity if you're the 13? That's really what it comes down to. Playoff spot on the line. You're going to be near the very back of the field here. You're going to pit. Everyone might pit, I think, for fuel. Actually, not many, but that 13 is looking up at his playoff spot right now.
Definitely. I mean, he's got to keep Kush in his sights, and he's got to get at least 4 spots ahead of him if he wants that playoff spot. Currently sitting, I believe, is 17th or 18th. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
So,
beside his teammate.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Ghost Killa and AHAC can work something out here. It already seems like there was a little bit of a disagreement. AHAC had dropped down low, and then Ghost Killa had moved him back up high for a moment. They're going to get back in line with each other. As I believe your current leader is Dalator. And followed him is the 2 of the
Shake and bake.
Yeah. And 87, a Skeptic Whitey, not Whiskey, believe it or not. And Kush Knight, again, still holding strong in that top 5 position.
And now in fourth, just trying to hold on to. I mean, really, do you even make a move? You're just here to keep your playoff spot, but I know he wants to win too. How aggressive are you if you're this fourth?
I think if you're Kush, in the spot you're at right now, the only way AHAC gets into the playoffs is if he wins. Because again, AHAC needs to be 4 spots ahead of Kush. And 4 spots ahead of Kush is leading the race. And, you know, going out and winning. So, honestly, I don't think if you're Kush that you be aggressive here. I think you sit and you either push that 87 or 17 to a win.
That's what I was about to say. If you right there, if you really look at them points, because before the race, he can just right now sit. Just sit right there like Captain said and push. That's all you really can do. That's if you want a playoff spot, if you want to race for a championship, just go ahead and sit right there and chill out.
Definitely. I mean, Kush doesn't have a whole lot of points to really play with. Only 3 above AHAC, but again, AHAC sits way back there in the bottom or not bottom 15, but just in the top 20 out of 21 cars, which isn't really saying much, but regardless. Yeah, no. Again, if you're Kush, I think you just sit and push here. There's no reason you try and be aggressive, because it'll come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, right now it's Roush, KBM, Roush, KBM. So, I mean, you really don't have much help if you're Kush to even make a move now. You just got to hold on as he almost let the 8 underneath him.
Yeah, if you even let anybody under you here this try, just know AHAC is back there, and he's looking pretty hungry for a playoff spot. If you make one mistake, say goodbye, because you gonna fall back there. It's so many things that goes into this Talladega race that you don't want to be in this position to hold on to a spot.
Definitely, there's a lot on the line going into such a chaotic race, with it being really just a roll of the dice to see who gets lucky. And I mean, we saw it in stage 1 where Kush got involved in an incident and dropped back and lost his playoff spot there for a moment, but then came back in stage 2 and took it right back. So there's a lot to really gamble on a track such as Talladega.
Yeah, you can, as long as Kush don't make any mistakes. I mean, you can just sit right there. If he moves up, I don't know who's really going to follow him. If you want to get like an extra not a playoff point, but extra bonus points, yeah, you can if you want to lead a lap, try, but right now just sit, because I see a couple other cars back there that's just forming a line right there, but I don't know if they're going to come up anytime soon.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that 33 sitting back in 6th, that would be Devon Baseball, correct?
That is, yes. Currently.
And, I mean, if you're Kush, you cannot let that 33 win, because if that 33 wins, that pushes you out of the playoffs as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is a Penske truck, but we've seen Fords just work with each other in the past. So, hold up 1 second, I got a cough.
Yeah, I mean, like, if, my fault, Jim, but I mean, like, if especially, that is another thing, thank you for bringing that up. That's your teammate. It's neither, let's make a situation, he is in 2nd, and you're in 3rd. It's all, if you gonna make a move with him to win the race, or you just gonna sit right there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of politics going with it. I mean, right there, a very big moment by somebody. I don't know who that was. Somebody got loose, but a lot of politics being played here. If you have a friend out there, you want to help him.
Right.
And if he isn't your friend, I mean, that'd be a good time to, pass him or get underneath him and screw him out of a race. So
yeah,
this might be your perfect place to do that.
I mean, The only thing that really sucks about trying to get underneath someone here at Talladega is they can easily just pinch you off coming up through that corner, and as far as I know, it's not really considered a penalty, but honestly, it should be. But
Yeah, I mean, as long you gonna have to say, you can say your apologies later. It's remember, this is still a race that you need playoff points. I mean, playoff points and points in. As long as you just hold on to this bottom line, just hold on to it, because you know nobody in this race right now who is in death. Oh, somebody go under the yellow.
Yeah, it looks like Kush has lost his only friend on the top 5 of our bales, who's dropped back well below 10th. And I believe, once the camera pans to a decent angle, somebody has broken into the top 10. A-Hack finding himself, I think that is 7th or 8th.
Yeah,
Kush Knight still sits in 3rd, but he's right there on his door.
Yeah, he's fighting with everything he's got, and we still have, I mean, this is the biggest part of the race, I imagine. If there is no caution, we still have green flag stops. That's going to be the real game changer here.
Yeah, that's going to bite. I mean, if you see someone like Kush get a penalty, I'd like to think that's pretty much it for Kush if he gets a penalty, trying to make green flag stops. But I wouldn't exactly count on something wrong happening or something bad happening during those stops if you're A-Hack. I would just focus on trying to get ahead right now. Don't count on luck.
Yeah. And the 33 of Devon Baseball just got shuffled out to the outside, the 13 right behind him, and they are stacking up. Oh, no.
Oh, no. A-Hack just...
Yeah.
He gotta stop. I'm sorry. It's just, you can't do that, man. You cannot. You in playoff elimination mode. There's no time to play around with that outside lane. Nobody, I'm for sure. Oh, he gets hit under the yellow. Has to come back.
No, I mean, A-Hack didn't have much of a choice. He made it all the way up, back to Kush, using that outside because he just didn't have the option to go inside. And I think right there it's just going to tell him, hey, relax, find yourself on the inside, get paid off of other people's mistakes or something like that.
Yeah, just like you said, get paid off other people's mistakes. We have seen so many mistakes in this race. I cannot count them on my hands. You can depend on other people. Well, not that much, but you can depend on other people's mistakes because there's neither too much pressure on them or they just do not know what is the right move. So it's all up to you if you want to stay on that high lane and try to see can you make it work to get up there, or it's up to you if you just want to stay on the bottom lane and like Captain said, well, he didn't say this, but just hope for the best and pray to Jesus, man. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're A-Hack right now, I would just try and find yourself back towards the bottom and, you know, just pass people as they make mistakes. People will go high, and, you know, a lot of people complain about not following them, but that's a pretty good way to make up positions. That's how Mudweiser had managed to win Talladega a few weeks ago. I mean, he had people that just stuck behind him, really just kept pushing him, and found himself there at the win, not naming names.
Yeah, I think this 13 needs to exercise a little more patience because he's taking every run he gets. I know that you need to get up there, but this is not how you're going to do it. There's a train behind you that's looking to take this inside from you and just continue putting you back there. So once you get up to a good spot, you kind of just got to filter in line and just sit there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, it is always something called a demon. It's always looking at you. You always looking over your shoulder, especially when you're in the playoff elimination. You have so many things to worry about. Points. Where is he at the track? What can I do to get up there? If you just gotta stay on that bottom lane. I mean, if this is a different track, I will understand if it was the high or bottom lane. but this is Talladega, one of the tracks that can kill you, or it can help you out in magical ways. We've seen it happen multiple times in real life and in the game, but I don't know when we come in the pit, but if you have to make a hard decision,
I think it's soon.
I believe it is this time by Dalator, Skeptic, and Jason Cole, and
boy,
Kush
keep an eye on the 4
as well. Kush getting a little bit awkward.
Whoa!
Gonna push Dalator into the wall. That's gonna hurt.
Did the 4 get a penalty?
I do not know.
I think you got the 17 about it.
I believe, and I will look and watch. Dalator is typing it. He says, thanks. That's going to be a penalty probably for Kush. That's definitely going to hurt.
Here. Still sitting there. I think this is a penalty for Kush Knight.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely hurts. Either that or he's taken 4, which surprises me.
No, this is a penalty. This is going to really hurt.
Yeah.
He's going to have to hope that he can hurt some other guy's speed, because now it isn't about stage points. It's about where you finish. And this is going to be a huge draw on that.
Definitely, we see a few more come down. The 3 of Tire Racing, 00 of MBD, the 38 of, I think that is Masopes, the 16 of AK, the 34 of, I believe that is Overbeek, and another truck who I can't find, so.
Yeah, it's now, I think, since you said he sped, right?
Yes, Kush
or
and
not
Dalator
Kush
did
sped.
speed.
Now, that penalty is going to... Oh, wow. That is going to hurt him so much.
So,
I think A-Hack can take it easy now. I think he can.
Yes, I mean, I think if you're A-Hack right now, you just try and relax.
Yep.
Don't run over.
Can't get wrecked. Can't get
Don't.
wrecked.
He's going to come into pits here. He's going to take it nice and easy. And, yep, he's most likely didn't get a penalty there, but...
He's good.
I believe Kush will have a 5-point penalty from pushing Dalator in, and that'll put A-Hack 2 points ahead. And that is just numbers coming from me, who I am an admin, but I do not have final say on this stuff. That is my best approximation.
We talk about mistakes, and this is a pressure cooker. This is a hard racetrack to get on a pit road at, hard track to really keep your position at, and I mean, it really is going to cost Kush if he does not get a caution or something going his way in the next few laps.
Yeah, and adding on to that, A-Hack is now in the top 4, and inside the top, inside like the top 8 and stuff. That's gonna hurt him too.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're A-Hack, you just relax. I believe, I could be wrong though, he is still with the lead group. I could be wrong.
I think that's the lead group up there, yeah.
So, the only thing that can save Kush now and push him back into the playoffs is if Kush can find himself back up front with a caution.
Now, alright, how about this? How many races has R-Bales made?
He's made 6. Just enough to be in the playoffs.
He's made 6. Right now, he is in second place and has a shot at the win here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw a repeat of this last season. He had a bit of tire strategy and he found himself up front, but sadly, he lost out of he ran out of fuel on the last lap and got snuffed off at win, or pushed out of a win. So we could definitely see him win here today as A-Hack goes way wide down under the yellow for some reason. And it looks like he pushed the 24 back up high.
So if A-Hack just don't go high then.
I think he might actually want to. Like, just let these guys by. This doesn't matter. He's just going for a race win at this point, but in the long run, just surviving right now will be enough to push yourself into the playoffs past Kush.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm talking... Oh, my fault. But I was talking about, if R-Bells try to go for the win. Don't. I'm sorry, but it's messed up, but just don't go high. You're messing up your chances.
He basically you want A-Hack to go where R Bales doesn't. Say R Bales goes high, A-Hack should not follow him at all.
Right.
Regardless of who goes up there, because R Bales wins, playoff spot's gone for both Cush and A-Hack. And if for some reason Shake and Bake decides to go high and tries to pull maybe the 23 and 24, A-Hack should just push, or not push, but go up high with Shake and Bake. He basically just wants, or should rather, go where R Bales doesn't.
Yeah, and this is going to be 4 laps to go in this race once they touch that line. But yeah, exactly what you're saying. If you're the 13 or if you're the 2, you have to be cognizant of where your help's going to come from. That 18 is going to be desperate to make a move. That 32 will likely go with them. But that 2 has to know, stay on the bottom. That 13 is going to be your help. Because right now, he cannot let R Bales win this race.
Right. It's just a matter of who will help you. And R Bales should definitely know that 13 and probably that, I don't know if that's 9, yes, that's 98. Just know them 2 SHR cars are not going to help you out at all. Should exit them out of the book because they are trying to get A-Hack to win, not you. I don't know about the 32. Ooh.
Yeah, getting a little bit squirrely.
Yeah. I don't know about the 32. The 2 is going to block you. It's not a part. You don't have nobody with you, not that much.
Can one of you check to see where Dalator currently is on track?
I have no idea because he's not around the group with MBD.
Right.
Check the pits.
He's probably back there with. He's probably back there in about 17th, 18th.
I'm gonna check right now, and he is with Kush.
Okay. I kind of figured. He just muted himself for some reason in the Hennessy Discord for 10 hours, so.
Backstretch.
Shenanigans.
There we go. 2 laps to go. R Bale's running out of time, but I mean, this is the perfect place to be, guys. I think this is where you want to be. You want to be second, and you have that 32 who's a Penske, not affiliate of the leader or the guy behind him. He's also going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're that 32, 13 moves up to 32 just a little bit, but has to drop back some. I think if you're the 32, you just try and push R Bales or, whoever really gets you the most points. 32 can really go for a win here, but I believe he's only made 3 starts. So it's not going to mean a whole lot. TTV Kluka only made 2 starts, so.
Well, that's not Kluka. That's our new guy.
Oh, that is the new guy, right. Yeah, the one and only. So we might just see, if for some reason Shake and Bake decides to go high, we might just see the one and only stick with him.
R Bales almost ruined his whole race right there.
This is 1 to go. R Bales had a complete. Yeah, R Bales was heartbroken last season. He really wants this one.
Oh my God. Who will get it?
Definitely R Bales looks like he's setting up for a little bit of a run. A-Hack is going to stay with the 32 and the 18. The 2 is going to remain up front. The 98 going to push the 13 up just a little bit.
He's going to make a turn 4 move. That's what R Bales is looking for.
Shake and Bake's going to move back down, not try and pull up the 23 and 24. R Bales is going to continue to stay low. He's going to go high. That's definitely going to hurt.
No help.
Nobody goes.
Nobody went to go help him. And it looks coming to the line is going to be Shake and Bake, your winner. Ooh, getting a little squirrely. Shake and Bake, your winner. A-Hack currently sitting in your 10th playoff spot. And just hearts broken everywhere.
Unofficial, we still wait if there are any penalties assessed, but the only one that I think could really be assessed is 1 to the 4 for putting the 17 on pit road.
I believe the Admins were only talking about really 2 penalties, that 4 for putting in the 17 on pit road and the 40 for aggressive driving. But 40's penalty doesn't really have much effect on anything, but it's going to hurt a lot for Kush. And
yeah, he's not going to be happy. But before we go into all the playoff stuff and get our race winner in, what a job by second place, the one and only after. I mean, this is his first race, right, in Hennessy? Technically, his first race in the Truck Series. So big shout out to him. We shouted him out at the beginning, and he earned himself a second place finish tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he did pretty well. His first ever Truck Series start, second place here at Talladega. So, definitely pretty interesting. And apparently it was part of everybody's plan to go high on that last lap and just got stranded out there by himself.
He also kind of mistimed it just a little bit. You don't want to make it going up the hill because that ruins a little bit of the momentum. But
Kind of kills it. I think you want to do it just
learn.
coming out. But regardless.
Yeah. Just a happy day for AHAC as he is, I think, locked in.
Yep, I believe AHAC is in, and I will try and get you your rundown real quick of the truck standings of who's in and who is not. It is going to be Ghost Killer. Yep, Ghost Killer currently still sitting in first. He didn't really do a whole lot this race. Finished, I think, 6th or 7th, but still currently in first. And who's the driver of the two?
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Well, no shit. I'm talking IRL. But anyway, doesn't matter anymore.
Oh.
There's going to be Ghost Killer currently in first, Dalator second, Mayhem in third, Jason Cole fourth, TGS in fifth, NBD sixth, AK Unleaded seventh, Shake and Bake in eighth, Skeptic Whitey in ninth, and AHAC in 10th with Kush just barely getting pushed out. So again, really tough for Kush there, but
yeah, definitely tough for Kush. And I mean, rejuvenation to the season for AHAC. He kind of was tapering off there at the end of the season, but he really, I mean, he looked a bit rough there in stage, I believe it was stage 2, where he didn't get any points, but maybe that was stage 1. I honestly forgot. But one of those stages, he was trailing behind the 4 by a point, and I mean, just great result from him.
Yep, definitely some pretty big results. And Shake and Bake, who I just said it, but I already forgot what spot you were in the playoffs. Currently sits 6th in the playoffs. Just won here today at Talladega to close off the regular season. How do you feel?
Relieved, honestly.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty good feeling to feel after a race. I mean, wouldn't really have it any other way. Coming to the finish line there on that last lap, that 18 made a little bit of made a pretty late move on you, trying to go for that win. Kind of just didn't work though. But were you at all really worried?
Not really. I knew the 24 and the 23 behind me were gonna get a big run, so I knew it would stall them out. But I was trying to break the draft from the 18, so he couldn't get a big run.
Fair enough. Some pretty smart moving by you, Jim.
Yeah, Shake, first of all, congrats on your first win here. I mean, it came after 11 races, but after all of that work, you finally get yourself a win here in Hennessy, so congrats on that.
Thank you.
Going
plate track, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, going back to it, I mean, going back to that point, that win, we really have seen you pretty consistent all season long. Just haven't had the speed that Ghost Killer and some of those other competitors, AK and such, have. But this win gives you a little momentum going forward. Are you looking to carry that on to, I think it's Canadian Tire next?
Yeah, for sure. It hasn't been the greatest season, consistent runs for stages, but haven't been able to close out the deal later in the race.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, that's definitely going to rejuvenate your season just a little bit, give you a little confidence going forward. Again, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And congratulations again. You're still obviously locked into the playoffs over points. But I believe that is all we really have time for, as I'm trying to get out of here and do something else. Yes. Thank you, everyone that decided they wanted to show up. Congratulations again to Shake and Bake for getting a win here today. And be sure to catch us tomorrow for the Xfinity and Cup Series at New Hampshire, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Xfinity. and 8:45 p.m. Eastern for the Cup Series. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.